to come.
All right. Well, my next guest says this whole thing is ridiculous. When's the last time you saw a woman digging a ditch? As Cynthia just told us, it's 4% of the workforce of those people doing the heavy labor. Of course, Mark Rudolph usually takes these views. Mark, it's no surprise that you think this is nonsense.
Of course, David. I mean, Cynthia just resents that her house, her street, and the bridge she crossed today were built by men. If she wants to change the signs, let's change the roles, too. The next time you see a ditch in the street, why don't you have the man holding the detour sign and the woman down there fixing the broken sewer pipe? All right? And by the way, and then when you flush your toilet, your lights won't work. But this is just absolute insanity.
But what is the, hold on a second. First, there are 2 points. First of all, Cynthia said, we already have the federal regs that are supposed to prohibit signs that are gender specific about people working. And secondly, what harm does it do to change this sign to this sign?
Well, it's first of all, we have lots of regs that make no sense and that they're based on political correctness. The second of all, the harm is the cost. There's absolutely no reason to do it when there's so much else going on in the world. I have a couple of ideas for signs. How about at divorce court we say women working the system to get child support and alimony? Or how about in a bar, women working it for free drinks? How about that?
Well, I got to tell you, for one thing, there are a number of men, at least in New York, we see it all the time, who get the alimony now, too. So you'd have to be gender neutral as far as alimony goes. But again, I don't see the harm. Dave. I got to tell you, as ridiculous as that first example of PC was, I just don't see the harm in putting workers, making workers sort of a neutral term instead of saying men work. What is the harm?
Well, I'm not looking at it as harm. I'm looking at it as nonsense, and it's a waste of time and a waste of money. And Cynthia made a big deal about it just so she can get promotion for her magazine.
Mark Rudolph.
And you know what? I think this is going to put the urologists out of business because I think eventually men are going to go to gynecologists anyway.
Okay. Mark, you're going to have to come back for a totally separate segment on that one. Mark Rudolph, good to see you. Work